Hello guys, and you are going to be hearing a lot of construction because Israel is fucking terrible. And by that I mean it's always falling apart. It's not actually terrible. I kind of like it here, even though the people drive me fucking crazy because they walk like they have nowhere to be. You may or may not be able to tell this is a new camera. And I keep on looking in the viewfinder because it used to be up there and now it's over here. The reason for this is that my camera got stolen in France, which you would have seen because you should have seen my Paris vlog, and if you haven't, you're fake. And so because of that, I couldn't do my review for June, but the book that was for June was goddamn terrible, so I'm not even gonna bother telling you what it was. Like, I switched to that book because I couldn't get The Dyke and the Dybbuk on my Kindle, and that was a problem, so I instead did Knit 1, Girl 2, because it's like knitting, but it was terrible. It was fucking awful. There was no characterization or whatever. But that's not the book we're talking about. This month, we are talking about I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson is the story of these twins. One twin is gay, the other one is straight and a girl, and their mom passes away in a horrible car accident. And it's told through dual perspectives. You have Noah, who is the brother, and you have Jude, who is the sister. And Noah's stories basically range between the time that he's 13 to 14, and Jude's take place when she's 16, over like a course of like a few months. Here's what the cover looks like. This book is incredible. Let me tell you a little bit more about the book before I gush. So the mom is like an art history teacher or something like that. And she wrote this book about this artist named, I think it's Guillermo Garcia, but obviously I'm gonna be thinking Guillermo del Toro every time, but whatever. This is not The Shape of Water. So the mom's really into art and she gets her kids into art. And so you have Noah, who is really into painting and sketching, and he's so good at it. Like, it's insane how good he is at it. And then you have Jude, who is less into art at the beginning, and you can like sort of tell that based off the way that Noah really tells things about the two of them. So I love this book. I think it is so good. Like 5 out of 5 stars. Like favorite. I love this book so much. Like, really and truly, if I wouldn't die for Hannah and Invincible Summer, this might be my new favorite book. The whole time I was reading it, I was messaging Hannah. I was like, you guys have such similar styles. Like, I really think you should read her because like she's like, just the way that the sentence structure is like really similar to the way that Hannah writes. But you know, you tell Hannah you think she'll like something, she'll be like, I will never like this and I will never watch it. She's my problematic fave. I love her so much, but she is a nightmare. She is a terror. So there's also like something that's really interesting about the way that the writing is. And this is different from Hannah because she hasn't really written like this. But, and I'm gonna stop comparing them here. Fingers crossed. But what's really interesting is that Jandy Nelson uses all these really incredible, like, explosive metaphors. It really feels like she is writing, you know, metaphors out of mania. And it makes a lot of sense in a way. Like, there's this one scene where, so the twins are estranged due to the mother's death. And I mean, like, emotionally estranged, not physically. They're living in the same house with their dad. But they like sort of like reconcile at the end, obviously, because what else would happen? And they like hold each other's hands, and Jandy Nelson said something about like, and the world melted away, something about the painting that Noah had done that was behind them. And like, you can just really feel it melting away, but like also at the same time, it's like more than just like an image in your head, like you feel it. And I don't know, maybe I'm just like being crazy because I did read this hypomanic. But whatever, I've been hypomanic for the last like 6 months, so it's fine. This book is really heavy though, and so I am gonna like warn you that if you read it, it will get depressing a lot of the time. And also, sometimes when I would read it, like lines from Invincible Summer would pop into my head, and then I would be like, I'm gonna be sad and angry for the rest of the day. And I think that's just a me thing. I don't think that's gonna happen to anyone else. But there's just so many good lines. Like from Noah, age 13, he says, he says, when people fall in love, they burst into flames. So good. And then from Jude, age 16, but he doesn't answer, just walks down the aisle toward me, a lazy, lanky walk that makes me think of summer. Which, you know, I have a soft spot for summer. Anything that reminds me of summer, like, I'll fall in love with. I put off reading this book because I forgot how much I love Jandy Nelson. And I was like, oh, it's too popular. Too many people like it. It's got too much press. I'll never read it and enjoy it. I'm a fucking idiot because I would literally die for The Sky is Everywhere, which is Jandy Nelson's first book, I believe, and it is about a girl whose sister dies suddenly of a fatal arrhythmia, which has since reading that book given me quite a fear of having a bad heartbeat. But I'm fine. I'm just being ridiculous. But I don't know, like that book is incredible. I think I read that one before Invincible Summer. And it was like exactly what I needed to read at the time, and it really like I fell in love with it. And then obviously I read Invincible Summer, and now Hannah's my friend, so we know the story. But I think this book is like a must read. This book is a must read. Like, Invincible Summer is my favorite book of all time, as we know. You saw the review. But I think that I don't think it's a must read. I think it's a must read for people who want to understand me, but I think that this book is just a must read in general. I have not read a book this good in a long time, and I really thought that The Myth of Sisyphus was gonna be, you know, I mean, I read it and I loved it, and I was like, this is an insanely good book. And I usually don't rate books 5 stars, and that one got a 5-star on the I read it in French first, the French was bad, and then I read it in English, and the English was incredible. And so the English got a 5 stars. If I could give this book, you know, 10 out of 5 stars, I would. I feel like it's really, really hard to express in words what about this book is so good. I mean, it's really hard to find books that suck you in, you know, and like, you will be reading it and you can't turn away. And this book is like that. It really is. You want to be in their world. You want to know their lives. Like, even though the book ended at like a good point where everything wrapped up, I could have read it for, you know, the next 2 months. You know, like, yeah. It's so good. As soon as I finished it, I ran downstairs to my friend Steven's room and I was like, you gotta read this book. Because I feel like he would really appreciate it in the way that I think it deserves to be appreciated. If I keep going, I'm just gonna keep rambling about how it's so good and everyone should read this book. But there's not necessarily really a reason other than that, like, it's painful and cathartic and insanely well written and entertaining and heart-wrenching, and I don't know, it's just so good. So this was obviously the gay book. Skip the lesbian book because it was bad. And now we will be reading A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which looks really, really good, and it's bisexual, and it's new. And, you know, I'm a sucker for newer books. So I'm really excited to read that one. I think I am going to wait until I get home, because I think it would be really cool to have a physical copy of that book. Also, I'll Give You the Sun was the 30th book that I read in 2018. And I thought that I was only going to read 17 books in 2018, so I'm winning. Also, you can see I'm very tan. Thank you, Israel, and also the lighting. Also, it's way too hot here to wear makeup, so this is the first makeup-less video I think I have done since the last time I did a Get Ready With Me. Yeah, so you should subscribe to this channel. Let me know all of the thoughts and feelings that you're having down below in the comments, and answer any of those questions that I posed to you before. Also, you should listen to my podcasts. I have one with Hannah Moskowitz, the coolest person that I know, about the L Word. It's called LOL Word Podcast. And there's also Avocado Toast, which I've been doing for over a year at this point, and that one is it's political, and we're trying to get young people engaged and interested in politics, as well as knowledgeable about politics and social issues. And then you can buy and should buy my book. Link is always in the description. So, but if you don't buy these books or subscribe to my podcast, you can at least let me know what you thought of this book or books you want me to read. It's the least you can do. It is also listening to the podcast, and writing in the comments is the freest thing you can do. But if you've got money, you should buy my book, because I think it's pretty damn good. I worked really hard on it, and it's been out for almost a year. It'll be a year October 31st. Thank you guys for watching. Next time you see me, I will either be in Eilat or in the States. Probably I'll film in Eilat and then I'll edit in the States, but you know, you get the point. So thank you for watching. Comment and do all the things that I asked you to do, because it'd be great, and I will see you next time.